The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation.
Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, you are listening to or watching live UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network, as we like to call it, UPRN. This is the Angel Rock. We are live, and I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin. Let me open my little checklist here I like to have out to remind me. I hope you're staying cool wherever you are, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, that you're staying warm. We are in a major heat wave, myself and my guest, talking to her before the show. It is, well, I think it's almost 100 degrees where I am in Thunder Bay with the Humidex, so you're going to hear my fan, and I apologize, but I'm melting. Anyways, a little bit about my, oh, you heard that, Ken? Yeah, I just seen a friend of mine from high school. He said, I heard it's like Las Vegas heat in the city. Yes, it is today. It definitely is. A little bit about myself. I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I'm also a registered nurse. I am an animal communicator. What else am I? I'm well versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler myself, and I studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years. I'm also, sorry, I got a dog hair. I'm also extremely well versed in the paranormal. I always say I didn't go looking for it, but it found myself and my family. We shared a little bit of our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor. It's season 4, episode 9, called Demonic Hauntings. And you're going to see somebody familiar if you do watch that episode. It's on YouTube. It's, I think, on Netflix. It's all wherever the series is carried, the replays. I did not know her at this time, but it's actually my, 7-year anniversary coming up, I think on the 17th of July this month. So, and this person joined very shortly after I did on the network. She's our station manager and the host of 2 shows of her own. It's Michelle DeRoche. She hosts The Outer Realm on Tuesday, Beyond the Outer Realm on Tuesdays from 2 to 3, sorry, I'm trying to remember, is it 2:30 to... It's mid-afternoon. I think it starts at 2. My brain just went blank. I'll blame it on the heat. I'm sorry. And then she has The Outer Realm 2 nights on the network, on Wednesday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, and Thursday nights from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. This coming Wednesday, 2 days from now, I am joining Michelle DeRoche to continue this series we've done together. It's called the Celebrity Mystery Series. We're going to be looking into potential maybe time travel, all kinds of things. I'm sure if any of you follow a little bit of celebrity, you may have seen that there's a theory out there that some of these celebrities have identical pictures dating back to like the 1800s to present day and such. So that's what I'll be doing. So I hope you guys will join us on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. here right on UPRN. I'd also like to thank Carnation. Mondays on UPRN here is known as Carnation Mondays. Carnation does sponsor all the shows on the network, including the Angel Rock, and we're very thankful for that. If you are shopping, Carnation is a global brand, and this network does broadcast to every country in the world. So if you find something on your shopping list that Carnation provides, please consider supporting Carnation, because they sponsor my show and all the great shows here on Mondays, and we really appreciate the Carnation. Thank you so much. Like I said, we broadcast to every country in the world. We do have multiple shows that we stream live daily here, 7 days a week, and when we're not streaming live, the archive server does kick in. So stream shows from the past well over 25 years since this network's been around. So we are live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're always adding new shows and new hosts to the network. It's not all just UFO and paranormal, just so you know that. What else I want to tell you guys? I got to check my little checklist here. Sorry, the heat's affecting my brain tonight. If you guys want to watch us on TV, you can. The network does have its own TV channel. It's on Roku. So you go to the Roku app and you go to the channel store in Roku and you're looking for the search bar. It's usually up in the right-hand corner. You're going to type in UFO space P as in paranormal, and you're looking for, there's a drop-down list, and you're looking exactly for UFO Paranormal United Public Radio. And that's how you can find us. We do have a website. It's www.uprntalkradio.com. It is getting revamped. I know we keep telling you that, but we got a lot of hosts on the network and a lot of shows and all kinds of things. There's a lot of work involved with it, but it is coming. You can still use it now, but it's getting updated. I hear that there may be a chat room coming there as well as a merch store because, again, with broadcasting to every country in the world, 80% of our audience is listening only. So if you're listening and you're hearing me address everybody in the chat and, answering questions and what have you, and you're thinking, well, how do I participate in the chat? Like, I don't see anywhere where I can type something in. How you do that is you need to see us to join us right now at the moment. So I'll tell you quickly how you can do that if you're watching live right now, because we do have replays for every show on the network as well. Anywhere where talk radio and podcasts are carried, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We're on TikTok tonight streaming, but I'll go over that in just a sec. So I'm going to rattle it off quickly. Under my name, Lorilei Potvin, or you can find me under the Angel Rock. I'm streaming to my personal Facebook profile, my LinkedIn profile, my YouTube channel, which is the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. And we are streaming to the Angel Rock. I think it's the Angel Rock 1508 on TikTok. So that's where we are tonight. So thank you. Welcome to everybody on TikTok, because I can't see your chat. I have to pop back and forth. But feel free to post comments, ask questions, or join us on one of the other platforms too, because we've got a great group here that chats and really supports the show. So the more the merrier. Also, you can join us on UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on our Facebook page. We're on our main YouTube channel by the same name, same as Twitch under the same name. And where else are we going? I think that's it. I think I hit everything. I think I remembered everything. I see everybody filing in. I'm going to read our wonderful guest bio. And she's come up with some interesting stuff for you guys tonight. She's been on the network before, and you love her every time she comes on. So we're in for a real treat, but we always are when she comes on the show. So hang on. Let me grab my bio and my glasses so I can see here. Hang on. Okay. So tonight we are having back on Fotoula Adrimi. She's got a honors bachelor, MSc, and is a partner in the ISIS School of Holistic Health, a school of healing arts, spiritual development, and inner transformation. The school teaches the path of the living light, the spirituality of the golden times of ancient Egypt. Prior to this, she has studied Reiki, Sekhem, and SourceSTAR, and in bracket Master Star or Master Teacher level. She's also an author of 2 books. Her latest is called Sacred Mysticism of Egypt, the Ancient Path of HEKA Initiation. Fotoula's other passion is shamanism, which runs in her blood from her paternal side. She is an active member of the Global Shamanic Teachers network created by Sandra Ingerman. She teaches shamanic practitioner courses as well as introductory and advanced shamanic workshops, both in her classic shamanism and from her own Greek heritage. Since 1999, Fotoula has lived and worked in Glasgow, Scotland, the UK. She's also taught in Greece, Germany, and the Netherlands, and led spiritual pilgrimages to Egypt and sacred sites in the UK. Welcome, Fotoula. I'm so glad to have you back.
I'm so glad to be back as well. Thank you very much, Lorilei. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, sorry, I have a bit of a delay. Didn't mean to interrupt, but we also want to let people know you're streaming to your Facebook. Is it your Facebook page as well? Can you let people know what that is too?
Yes, please go on my Facebook page if you're not there. Oh, there is a bit of a delay. I can hear it.
Can you tell now? I don't know why. The Wi-Fi router is right below me. Even when we went live, I'm going, come on. It just kept spinning and spinning. So I apologize. But please, let them know your Facebook page, please.
Yes, so it's Fotoula Adrimi author. So if you go there, you should find it. I look forward to the show very much as well, Lorilei, because I was connecting with my helping spirits. And
well, hang on tight for 1 sec. Let's say hi to everybody first, because once we get talking.
Okay.
And it always flies by when you're on. So we have Ken Stockley here. Like I said, I went to high school with him. He doesn't live in Thunder Bay anymore, but he said, I heard Vegas heat in Thunder Bay. You were absolutely right, Ken. Like I said at the beginning of the show. Oh, and I think he's in Southern Ontario. He says, we get it tomorrow. Ooh. And then Heidi saying, good day, Lorilei and Fotoula, and much love from hot, melty, mile high Boulder, Colorado at 102 today, 102 degrees today. Guess what, Heidi? We're tied with you practically, believe it or not. It is just like you can barely breathe. It's so hot. So we've got, and Fotoula said it's only 26 degrees in Scotland, but it's late where you are. But Grace, you said you're used to these temperatures, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're very much used to being these temperatures in Greece, and I no longer go to Greece in July. I refuse.
Oh. Well, Z-Sun Dragon, or I call him by his muggle name, Kevin. He's on the coast in eastern Canada. He says it's 23 degrees Celsius here. Rain started after days of sun. Tomorrow's supposed to be 29 degrees and thunderstorm warning. We had a wicked, wicked, wicked thunderstorm on the weekend, and we're at the cottage. I'd heard about it. It was like rolling thunder within the clouds, and then I seen a bunch of video from people filming it here. It was really strange weather. So let's see, everybody's saying hi to everybody. We got Kiara J joining us, saying Lorilei, Fotoula, Kevin, and then she's saying hi to everybody else in the chat. Let's see, we've got Michelle Wilfong. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Michelle says, hi, everyone. I'm heading over to TikTok. Michelle Wilfong is my mod over on TikTok. She is one of the most incredible mods. She does such an amazing job over there, and I appreciate that she does that. And you guys, she has her own TikTok channel. If you would please support her over there as well. It's called My Haunted Apartment, and she shares all kinds of activity from what goes on in her apartment. She's caught some crazy stuff on camera. Let's see. Oh, we got Tina Loomis Soul. That's my friend's mom. That I was telling you, Fotoula, that my friend was on last week, Annette Beckham. So Tina Loomis Soul is her mom, and she says, good evening, Lorilei and Fotoula, and all in the side chat. Let's see. We keep going. You know what it is with StreamYard? They always try to improve things. And what they've done, you know the arrow where you click to go down? They've got this big box there with a share arrow. So every time you try to click down, it turns it on another screen. So give me a sec as I'm trying to scroll down here. What is 100 in Celsius? Kevin, I think it's 44, 43 or 44. I don't know. Would you know better, Fotoula?
No, I work in Celsius, but not Fahrenheit. I have no idea, but it sounds very high. It sounds
I
very
think it is, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle says 86 degrees Fahrenheit in Milwaukee, Oregon, in the USA. We got Julie Jean Bassett here saying hi, Lorilei, and everyone. Always love to give Julie a big shout out. She's my animal communicator, mentor, a good friend of mine as well. She's helped me with many of my pets. She's an incredible animal healer as well. If you're having problems with your pets and you're thinking, why are they doing what they're doing and they won't stop, and you're ready to pull your hair out, maybe they got something else underlying. Julie is an incredible just incredible with animals. So she's got a website called juliejeanbassett.com for the animal things. She's also an incredible shamanic practitioner as well. And I've had a session with her. We're almost going on 2 years now since I had it, I think in October, but it was life-changing for me. It's incredible to have a shamanic session. And like I said, our guest also is practices shamanism as well. And so Julie's website for the shamanism is whitetailshamanichealing.com. And Julie, if you got anything coming up or any courses, anything you're teaching, please feel free to share in the chat. And anybody else, like obviously don't advertise products and stuff, but if you're a teacher or mentor or anything and you want to share that you've got something coming up, please feel free. Let's see, we're still scrolling, 86 degrees, Southern Illinois. And Kevin says, yes, in Canada, we do go by Celsius. Yes, we do. We go by a metric system. And I learned the imperial system, and then they switched over to the metric system. So I actually know the imperial system more. I know metric, but I know it like I could recognize it like with my eyes closed, because that's what I learned as a child. Oh, Kiara says 37.7 degrees is 100 Fahrenheit. Are you sure about that? I don't think so, because I know as a nurse, um, 37 degrees is normal Celsius for body temperature, and in imperial, that's 98.7 degrees Celsius. So it's close, but not quite, I don't think. But thank you for sharing. That's why I have to know both when I was working as a nurse. So Julie says she doesn't have anything at the moment. She's working on healing through the medicine wheel course, taking longer than expected. That's okay. Everything happens when it's meant to happen. Thank you for the roses you're sending, Michelle. Michelle's saying, welcome back. Great guest today. Thank you for everything you do over on TikTok, Michelle. Really appreciate that. So I cut you off mid-sentence, so please continue, because you were talking to me before the show started. We're going to do something a little bit different today, which is amazing, and I can't wait. So take it away, Fotoula.
Yes, so what happened? I was wondering the same thing. What is coming to be shared tonight? Tonight for me, maybe, yeah, it's tonight for you too. So my spirit guides were coming through, and they wanted to maybe speak about what is going on in the world right now. And they sometimes want to speak through my mouth.
Love that.
They want to. Yeah, they don't want me to interpret or basically they just want to have this experience of what it's like to be in this physical body and come through this voice comes through me.
Love
So my helping spirit is the goddess Isis from
it. Mhm.
ancient Egypt, as you know, but at the same time there might be others coming through. But I want to say something before we start with anything like that, just because in the UK we have a specific legislation that this is for demonstration purposes only. And now that I've said it, we can do it.
So you're going to you're going to channel your guides in.
Yes. So,
Okay.
so a lot of people are asking me, Lorelei,
Mhm.
what is actually happening right now?
Okay.
We have been hearing and reading many books and authors, and we've been hearing that all these very high energies, very high vibrational energies, are coming to the earth. And people are saying, well, okay, they might be coming, but what we're seeing is a lot of distraction and a lot of unskillful behavior. And we can see that the worlds are separating. And there's one side, almost like one camp, that is very much still in the third dimensional reality, and then there's another camp that is very much still into the shadow, and they can't move out of that, and they feel the pain and everything. And then there's another camp as well, that is all these people who are like, yes, there is the light here. Lots of things are changing because they're changing within us. So this is what we did in one of my circles, because this question comes from a lot of people. So it was a circle about goddess Sekhmet. This is the ancient Egyptian mystery course that I'm teaching, and we went to her because she's the destroyer.
Mhm.
So she's the one who, before, in the previous era, when we were all doing exactly the same things, messing up with the DNA, messing up with life, messing up, with the earth and with ourselves, and we were so arrogant then too, nothing much has changed.
Mhm.
She came and she said, okay, I'm going to clear the slate and you'll have to start again. And there was so much destruction that the ancient Egyptians said it was like rivers of blood, of human blood. And she wasn't stopping this until, the powers, maybe higher powers, the higher spirits who
Mhm.
look after the earth, they said to her, like, right, we need to stop you
Stop.
because you are stop, stop.
Yeah.
But she wasn't stopping, and they had to trick her in some way. Now, some people might say, well, she should have done a more thorough job because we are just going back exactly where we were before. But what the guidance was, there is a change, and this was really took us by surprise. When we were in the Sekhmet temple and she was coming through, she showed us that all around the planet there are almost like um, little balls of light, a network of light workers everywhere. There are so many. There are all the people who have been incarnated, and they're not interested so much in what's in the politics and what's going on. They're interested in the light, and they're interested in bringing their own work through, and they are so genuine. And there's a huge network of these people in every place. So what she's saying is that you didn't have that before, and this is a big change right now. And what you need to do is keep bringing the light through, whatever way you do it, whether you do it shamanically, whether you do it with your circles, whether you do it with reikis, any type of way you have. Tap into your inherent power of light. This is amazing. This is amazing. And don't worry what's happening out there, because you are elevating not just your consciousness, you are elevating the world's consciousness. And the world still has to catch up because we are ahead of time. We are ahead of the game, and the world has to catch up with this higher consciousness that is already here. Because for the people who are doing the work and tapping in, they're getting amazing results. And I've seen results going faster and faster. I mean, I can't believe it. Years ago when I started working, and I started working with people in 2006, people were coming for shamanic healing and everything, and it was wonderful and lovely and everything. But right now, I'm seeing people coming and saying, that I came for one session, that pain that I had for 5 years is gone. I'm going, oh my God. And then I was speaking to somebody today that they had a problem, huge problem with their work situation. They said, yeah, after this session that we did together, this one session, huge change, everything. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what's going on? And then we get so much help. There is so much help out there, up there, coming to the earth. And I feel we just have to keep opening to that. I've seen people who really want to do the work and are able to get out of the egoic state, really transforming. And that's why this lifetime is so important. And I had I met somebody I think it was 2015, and he was a minister. I don't know if I mentioned him before, but he was the most amazing person. He was an evangelical minister.
Well,
And
oh my,
yeah, so his background was very conventional, but he had a disease, an illness that was terminal, and he thought, I need to go back to the earth. I need to go to find the divine somewhere else, away from the dogma. And I was doing a vision quest in the Death Valley. I went to America to do that, a death and dying vision quest in the Death Valley. And he was there. And because he was terminal, he was so connected to spirit. Because when we are close to that time of our passing, everything opens up. Who
yes,
might, yeah, you know that, yeah.
because I
It's just
worked in palliative care a lot and death and dying and stuff, and definitely I concur. Hmm.
And he was looking at me and my friend, and he came and he said, this lifetime is so important because you can heal all the other lifetimes. But it's not just about healing the past, it's about stepping into the gifts that you came here with a long, long, long time ago, whenever it was your first incarnation, whenever you were that spirit, maybe many, many lifetimes ago. You heard the call. You asked to come here to earth. It was no accident. And he said, you brought something. Now, that power that you brought has been dormant for a long time because the consciousness on the earth did not support it. But you found your way to this moment, and you are bringing in that power again. And he could see me with a Egyptian priestess regalia. He could see my friend as well with the same. And he said, you've been to Egypt before and everything. And he didn't know anything about me. And this
Hmm.
was somebody who was so conventional in his spirituality before. So I feel this is a huge time of awakening, and I've seen people are really tested right now because the the energy saying you have to do something about it.
Hmm.
This is your chance. So a lot of people are ups and downs. We had Mercury retrograding as well, but whatever is not in balance, is almost like opening up and creating a big stussy, as we say in Scotland. We say big stussy. It means that it's really in your face. It is saying, do something about it. You ignored it. You thought, oh, it's just going to go away. Uh, it will be okay. It's not okay. Uh, Everything is pushing through you to get back into your own divine essence and gifts and state where you can serve what you came here to serve all life. So that was the big message that I was seeing, and we all got it in my group. It was so beautiful. Honestly, we had tears. And you think of Sekhmet as the destroyer, somebody so powerful. She comes usually, it's just like fire, and she was so compassionate that we never have seen her like that. But the message was one of step into your power in a good way, and and be that hollow bone, be that humble being that doesn't have all this ego stuff, and you don't need to worry, will I be doing well in this job or that job? Just surrender, and you will be taken care of. And I've seen that too. Now I have to say the spirits don't have not shown that they are taking care of me very lavishly or other people, but they are taking care of us. So I keep seeing that somehow when we are on our path, things come into a flow, but we also are tested.
Well, I have to agree with you because I've sort of been feeling the call as well, and I always say when we start this work, the healing, especially we all, I think, could use healing, and it's a lifelong journey of kind of almost like an onion peeling the layers away. But I've been feeling that call myself, even to start digging into even things maybe that carried forward from childhood that haven't been healed yet, or I've been really been working on manifesting abundance, um, going within to find that power within and saying yes to it, saying yes to our team that's with us. All of us have a team, and getting to know them better. And I'm not going to say it as beautifully as you just shared. And I thank you for what you've shared. But all we have to do is be open to it, to embrace it, and to, if you will, when I feel like I'm reaching out to spirit, it's like take their hand. You're open to it. Let's go together, and you don't worry so much about the future, like you said. Just be open to it. And I what I'm feeling and hearing is if we go from a place of love and in the intention of doing something for someone's highest good, including self, it'll all fall into place. Then it's kind of like jump and the net will appear. But I've been feeling that call too, which I haven't for a while yet. So before you answer that, look who's joined us. We got to give him a shout out. We got Gavin Lee Davies says,
Oh, yeah.
love
Hello,
him.
Gavin. So lovely to see you. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Gavin. I love Gavin. I've known him for years. He always sends and connects me with the most beautiful people to have on the show. I'm so grateful for him. He's got the Paranormal Chronicles, you guys. He's got an active website. I believe you have a podcast too, Gavin. So check that out, you guys. You can find him. I know I've seen many times on Facebook. I'm sure he's on other social media platforms. Thank you for popping in, Gavin.
Very much, Gavin. Lovely to have you
Yeah.
here.
Hmm. So I've been feeling that call too. And you know what started it though? It's interesting that you said about Sekhmet. Um, because I've been learning as I get older and further along this journey that sometimes when something is classified as a destroyer, right, and can be quite harsh, can sometimes be considered very negatively. I was almost feeling when you mentioned their name that the role this time, yes, there was destroying done, but it was in order to make room for things that maybe the universe, the people within it maybe weren't quite ready to let go, but it needed to be moved, like you said, to go back to zero so that we could start rebuilding, but also be pulling in those good things like that are our birthright while we're here, right? Not just physical, but all the things that go with it, sort of more in the way of a positivity.
Yeah, absolutely. Because,
Nice.
you know, it's actually making peace with that distraction and not resisting it. Sometimes we have to let things go, and
Mm-hmm.
that is a part of growth. You know, we sometimes when we do shamanic ceremony, what I do is we have work with the fire, and we build the fire. Each log of wood, each part of that fire is sacred. And if we think of that fire, it has two powers. The first is that, you know, it burns. It burns, you know, you have the fires there where you are, and it burns the trees. And so we use that power. We say, I would like to release whatever does not serve me. And
Yes.
what we can do is take some herbs. If you are in America, Canada, you could take tobacco. If you are here, the juniper is a sacred plant. Whatever herb calls you, and take it all around your body. And you think, where are the blocks? Where are the things that you know keep me back? And let me put that in the fire. And in the earlier, at some point, I was seeing people saying, well, I don't like my job. I'll put that in the fire. We need a bit of discernment, because what happens if
Yes.
the fire says, okay, tomorrow you're out of
You
a
don't
job?
have a job.
Yeah, maybe
Right?
maybe go for the gentle way, because the
Yeah.
gentle sometimes and a way takes us further. But we think whatever doesn't serve me, wherever I have pain, I've seen people overcoming physical conditions through fire, and you think, oh, what happened there? I can understand with my mind. How can that happen? But you know, miracles are always around us. So I've seen that, and you just put it in the fire, and that's the first power. And the other power is what you said, Lorelai, is about the manifestation, that the empowerment, that is the fire that wakes us up in the morning, and you think, no, I'm not just going to stay in bed and cover myself with blankets and think, you know, everything is terrible, etc. It's that fire that when we stoke it gets us out to follow our dreams, to say to the universe, to say to life, I am here, I am here. And to say to ourselves, I am here, I'm on earth right now, and I'm here for a purpose. And we all have a sacred purpose. Sometimes we do not know it, we can't see it. And then sometimes we're so engrossed in the karma, and that karma is very, very old, because when the previous world was destroyed, when Sekhmet came before, and see, there was so much destruction then, you know, that left a lot of souls who were hanging around, who didn't pass through, who were, you know, didn't heal. And people sometimes carry this huge fear that, oh, I'm going to lose everything. There's going to be another distraction, another huge virus, another thing. So that actual fear is in our DNA. So that karma we need to overcome somehow. We need to heal through our spiritual practice and develop the trust that what is coming through, what we're listening, what our heart is saying to us is more important than the fear. Because the fear is just going to say, don't walk through that door, just stay small. And that fire is calling us and saying, put your dreams in that fire. Then take the tobacco or the juniper or rice, whatever you have, and really activate it and speak to that plant and say, carry my prayers up to the sky, and blow your dream into that plant and put it in the fire. And now the fire doesn't destroy, the fire takes that smoke up to the upper world that we call in shamanism the sky realm, where these beings of light are there, and they see you, and they see you how much you have grown, and they are saying, okay, I hear your prayer. Yeah.
No, I was thinking about many things that you were just saying now. And that's kind of what it is, right? Working that was that what this call has been, is getting down to the real root of, like, for example, manifestation, right? And really understanding what that is, working with spirit, but also healing the parts that, and I do believe this, and there's no blame in this with saying this, it's just a matter of life, that, babies from even in the womb, they have hearing, but say 0 days of age to about 7, and I know you're not a baby when you're 7, but where I'm going with this is your brain is like a sponge. So we pick up everything and we kind of store it at those lower levels. So for me, for example, working on worthiness, right? Like, I remember hearing things like, well, money doesn't grow on trees and this and that, really unraveling that and understanding that money is an energy just like anything else. And there's more than enough to go around, right? So releasing some of these fears, releasing some of these untruths, starting to embrace and understand who we are at a soul level. Because, like you said, with fears and what have you, yes, I understand that we all have that, but again, you got to love when spirit shows you, and they usually give me a story or an example. And even when I say the word now, that's already in the past. Can't change the past, right? All we can do is take the lesson from what was in the past and bring it forward if we can. Do what we can. You always say things so beautifully when you share them. So thank you. I'm not doing them justice. But where I'm going with this, when we worry and we get scared or whatever it is, you know, it, that's for the future. The future is not really written yet, right? And we can create our own future. All we have is this moment is now, right? And so if we could just learn how to live in the now too, as well. And that's what I've been getting a lot of from spirit, because it's true. And again, like you said, going forth, doing things that are for people's highest good, or like you said, letting go of things that no longer serve us, right? Part of the
Yeah,
healing process. Hmm.
yeah. And what it is that these fears, in some way, we give them a lot of energy, and our
John.
world gives them a lot of energy. So these fears are very real when they come, even the doubts, etc. They feel very real, but they're not real. There are sometimes I had clients said, "Okay, what is my biggest fear?" And you think, but that's nothing to do in your life. You are already made the decision that this is how it's going to be for you, and there is no reason to think that. But this is what we do. So in the shamanic way, there is what is called a dismemberment. The dismemberment is you are taken to your bare bones, and even these bones go, because you have to overcome your fears. Is something such a big step. It's a landmark in your life. So we all have different things that we are working on because we are human, and that's part of being in the earth school and part of being on a spiritual path. So it's about, okay, I'm working on that. Let me be more aware on that. I can see that I'm afraid about this. How can I take care of myself to go through that door? And if I can't go through that door, that's okay. As I'm loving myself, I'm supporting myself, it will come again. And when it
Hmm.
comes again, I'm just going to go through it, maybe. But these doors are so important. I had one of my big doors was that when I was 31 and a half, I left my very stable life, very stable marriage, very stable life, because it wasn't working. It wasn't me. There was no love in that relationship. So I had to get so much courage because I was by myself in the UK. The family was in Greece. I had no support apart from very good friends, and there was this fear: what will happen? You won't be able to make ends meet and all of that stuff. And when I did it, my guide came and said, "You have actually done something that is so important that if you decide now to die, to take this exit point and move to another life, you are able to do this. So, do you want to stay or go?" And I thought, oh my goodness, what a choice. Of course, I said, I'm going to stay. But this is what happened. The next 5 minutes, I left the house. I was in Greece. I left the house. And as I was walking by, this piece of concrete from a balcony, it was the end of the balcony. It was maybe, bad construction, of course, Greek style construction. This part of the balcony just fell right next to me. Just had it fallen on my head, had it fallen just a little bit, I would have gone.
Oh,
But
wow.
I was okay. And then I remembered, okay, 5 minutes ago, I had these thoughts coming in. They're not just thoughts, they're coming from another plane.
Hmm.
So,
No, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
sometimes going through this showed me that these landmarks, going through our fears, is like a huge part of our empowerment. When we do not stop because the fear says stay back, and that is part of our training. We're here in the Earth School to overcome this, but we have to do it with so much compassion because the old model said you have to push yourself. You have to, keep pushing yourself, and you're a failure if you don't do it. And that
Hmm.
creates another style of fear. The new model is community. Okay, so you are creating here with all the shows. I'm creating back in Glasgow with my groups, and other people have their own groups. We are creating new communities, different style of communities that have their problems because we are all very empowered people coming together, so we might have differences of opinion, but the heart is the center of that. And that energy is not just the words, how I'm going to support you with my words, is holding that vibration, that higher state,
Yeah.
holding space for each other's growth. And that is the new thing that we didn't have before. So to say that I'm part of a community where, we all meditate together, or we are all receiving healing together, and we are changing our lives together, and we're celebrating each person however they are without any pressure, and saying, okay, this is where you are right now, this is what's going on for you, I'm here for you, both physically but also energetically. And that creates a different wave, and I think that's the light network that is part of this world now.
Hmm. I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm going to share some of the comments because people are commenting some of what you've shared here. So let me see. I got to go down a little further. Oskus is here. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, this little icon here, it needs to move over StreamYard just a wee bit. Hang on. So I had to go. So Julie Jean Bassett, who also is a shamanic, does shamanic work, says, yes, I went through a dismemberment too. And she says, I can relate. And Michelle Wilfong is sharing. Sorry, I got to scroll up a bit. Yes, my ego and fears kept my spiritual doors closed. And then she also added, letting go of my ego truly helped me accept my past. And congratulations on that. From, you know what I like though, that you said holding space for others, because what came through when you said that is each of us is here for a different reason, right? It's almost like all the puzzle pieces are falling in together, like when we're finding these different lights, if you will, around the world. But people are at different points in their life as well, right? So even in a group, and you can do a meditation together or whatever that may be. But other, maybe somebody, and I'm being just picking things out of the air. We say so and so's here. Maybe one of the things they're here to do is to learn about patience or love or healing or what have you. We're all kind of in different little roads. Now the roads don't make us separate. We're all going to the same place eventually, but we may be taking little bits of different journeys to get there, right? So I love that you said that we can hold that space for some, and all of us actually, because it hasn't been easy. I will definitely say that. Like, even for example, since the last time we saw each other, I had And when you brought up Sekhmet, it kind of resonated. I had my computer actually die during a live, my Apple Watch, my 3D printer, and my phone all die within 24 hours. Everything. Everything. And I was like, what is going on here? And I did not want to have to wipe my phone. Speaking of not wanting to let things go, I did not want to wipe my phone. Normally I can fix the phone, iPhone, in my sleep. Didn't matter what I did. And the reason I didn't want to is there were pictures of my late son on there that I didn't want to lose. Eventually I had to concede to let it go. And it was okay, because the message from spirit was that energy and those memories are within, right? Even those are physical representation. And I was eventually able to fix everything. But believe me, I was beginning to wonder, oh my goodness, am I cursed or something? I'm not. It was just maybe I took it maybe as a message that it was time to pull away maybe from all these technological pieces in my life, right? They're all going within a 24-hour period, and maybe it was time to step back. And that's kind of what started delving a little deeper into the healing journey, if you will, and sharing that. I hope that's okay to share. But I think this is part of, some of what you're sharing, and I appreciate that you're sharing all of this. So thank you.
Thank you so much too, and thank you so much for sharing. Because what happens, what I have seen also, is that as our vibration changes, it can unfortunately affect technology. That's something that I first seen when yeah, that's something I first seen when I went to the Great Pyramid. I was there with a group,
Oh,
and
how
we were
cool.
it was great. It was great. We got private access and we had 2 hours there doing our ceremonies. It was amazing, amazing. And it's such a special place because the pyramid is still aligned with the stars, with the earth, the energy is still flowing, and it's just the tip of the iceberg of what is under there and the whole network of tunnels and that are there. But anyway, we were there. The reason I'm sharing with you, after 2 hours, we went back to the hotel, try to get into our rooms. So we go there with the card. No, none of the cards are working.
Wow.
So we're all tired because we've been there in the pyramid from the crack of dawn, before the crack of dawn. So we go there to the hotel reception saying, well, have you canceled our reservation? What happened? They say, no, 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 everything's fine. We give you new cards. They give us whole group gets new cards. We go back to the room. We're trying to get in, and you have to go upstairs and downstairs. It was the reception was quite far, and then nothing. No, it's not working. Nothing is working
Again?
again. So
Wow.
second time. So we all go back. Nothing is working. So we go get the third time. We go back. We put the cards in. Nothing is working. And these guys
Again.
again. And this guy, now it's not just me. Everybody's trying. And this guy from the hotel comes, takes my card, and
Mhm.
puts it in, and the door opens. And he does that with everybody.
Mhm.
It's crazy. But what I have seen sometimes, and I've seen it so much now, when I do healing work, I say to people, please don't bring your mobile phone in the
Right.
room. Please switch off the mobile phone. If we're having a workshop, leave it outside in the next room, because I don't know how high these energies are going to be. And
Mhm.
I have seen people's watch breaking, their phones not working. And
Maybe that's what happened.
I think you went into a different vibration, higher vibration, and
Ah, okay.
and you blew up the circuits.
Yeah,
The, the,
because
the
we never had that happen. Like my computer, all of a sudden I had no warning, and it just said, "Yeah, your battery's practically dead," and it shut off during the live. Like normally, any laptop I've had, if the battery's died, as long as it's plugged in, it'll work. It wouldn't work. And then, like I said, my phone, like everything, just all of a sudden, just kaput. Hmm.
yeah, so I think you were in a powerful space. Your energy just blew up. Very inconvenient. I know. I know.
Yes. Like I said, I even checked energetically. Like, and I know that curses can have power, especially if you really feed into them and put a lot of energy and believe in it. But I'm trying to think. So I'm really glad that you shared that because I did not really consider that. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And another thing to say that I don't think it was the case with you, but maybe for other people who went through challenges, who are going through difficult times to try life is trying to find a balance for them. There is something that is called a spiritual initiation that I know you know so much about as well, because to be on this path and to have to shed the old skin, it's not coming easy, as I said, dismemberment. But an initiation is when you cross a threshold and you meet that threshold again. So, in the initiation, traditional initiation in shamanism is a tough thing. You know, when I did a rite of passage, I did the vision quest, you sit in the desert for 4 days and 4 nights without food. Because it's the Death Valley, I don't do
Oh, okay. Okay.
without water as well, because you'll die after 3 days in the Death Valley. That's you won't survive. But so some water's okay, but 4 days and 4 nights without food out there in nature, supported by a group of shamans and people. But for the Western mind to think, oh my goodness, that means I won't eat anything. You know, when my first vision quest, I thought, oh, you know, I have to be out there in nature that I don't know much about, in that place, and not eat and sit there. And all the time you have to sit there. Even at night, you should stay awake, yes, because spirit can come anytime.
Yes.
And that kind of ritual was what people used to go through to say, I'm moving now to a different time of my life. To maybe I'm becoming a healer or a shaman. I have to go through something that challenges my mind that says, oh, that's not possible. I can never do this. You find that you actually can. And then I enjoyed it even so much that I went and did it again another 2 times.
Oh,
And
did
every
you?
time it was so profound. Yeah, it's so profound. So these initiations, now we don't have that culture anymore. That community who used to organize these initiations for shamans or healers. So life is giving us some of these initiations. So sometimes we think, oh, what's going on? But actually, we might be going through an initiation, and that is when we say, okay, I surrender. There is something going on. I have to
But
just
that
go.
could have been it. That could have been it because you know what? And I've said this 2025 was the worst year of my life ever. My son died literally 3 feet away from me in this room, January 15th, 2025. And then my husband went he was sick for a week before December 20th, ended up in the hospital and almost died 3 times, was in there for 45 days. So I've been processing a lot of emotions about that too. So that could very well apply to that as well, or other people that are going through things like this. Because just because we're in this field, if you want to call it the light worker field, whatever people, the healing field, right? We go through a lot of things ourselves, like what you just shared for yourself too, right? And to be able to embrace it and recognize that maybe I did go through some level of initiation and vibrational upgrade. That would make sense, especially with electronics too.
Yeah, yes, yes. So I feel that's intensifying right now.
Mhm.
So you've gone through that in 2025, and that's great. It's that you've gone through, you came through it.
Don't
That's
ever want another year like that.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no. But
Mhm.
there are things that find you again if they haven't finished, and right now, not for you, but generally speaking, things that have not finished from the past, or we've done maybe 80% of the work and 20% is still left. they are coming on right now.
I
I'm
think that is me. I do. Because, like I said, I felt this call to start digging deeper and doing that healing work and doing shadow work and inner child. And it's tough stuff, especially if you've had a pretty difficult, we'll say, childhood. And or at difficult points. I just heard from spirit, not just childhood, for anybody listening, difficult parts of our life, right?
yeah.
And again, you I would say probably about 80 to 90% of it I have gone through, but there's still bits and pieces to fix. And that's what I've been feeling the call. Like, this is really resonating. I'm hoping it is for people listening as well. Because people, whether they're following the spiritual path or not, people are feeling it. They're feeling the shift. They're feeling something is changing, and they're noticing all around them things are changing. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the Mercury retrograde that Julie is actually mentioning, that's great. Thank you for mentioning that, Julie, because I felt this Mercury retrograde is really a big retrograde right now. And people are feeling exactly that,
Mhm.
things from the past or things that need to be sorted are coming up. And it's not an easy energy, but do the work now so you can really clear it. This is such support for that. And and even something crazy that happened that I would not never actually experience it in the same way. Something really difficult came just before my birthday. Now,
When was your birthday?
my birthday is on the 8th of July, and this
Oh, it
is,
was just your birthday. Happy
yeah,
birthday.
thank you.
It's my
Yes, thank you
son's
very much.
it's my
Thank
son's birthday tomorrow, and his fiance's birthday was yesterday. There's lots of July people. So happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. So what happened to me just before my birthday? There was a big thing that I need to put a lot of work to sort out. But when it happened, I felt this joy as like out of nowhere, and I knew it wasn't mine because I'm thinking I have so much to do right now. I have to sort this out as well, and it will take hours and hours. And the joy was from the spirits that said, if you really clear that, the door is open. It will like be so easy for you after that, but you have to clear it because it won't go away. And I thought, oh, this is that Mercury retrograde. And then listening to my clients, how many of them are had to get out of relationships,
Yeah.
leave things, and things breaking up, and everything, and there's sometimes a lot of tension. But I think in some way what we can do here is like be very honest with ourselves, be very honest with the world, really stay in integrity and do the best we can. So and know we are supported. Yeah, yeah. So this is a very interesting time to be on the earth because everything is accelerating. So our soul evolution is accelerating. So if you think of previous lifetimes, you had one, two challenges, or your lifetime was pretty much the same. And now you have all these deaths all at once, all these with deaths, I
Yes.
mean all these dismemberments, all these changes, you know you're just getting into these changes, and then another change happens, and we are in this very fast lane for soul evolution because we are taking the planet with us. I really feel that,
Hmm.
despite what we see out there, that actually this fast lane is also not just for us, but also for the earth. So I'm seeing people doing the work and doing the prayers, and sometimes it's so beautiful because we did some work for the environment. We put prayers for the highest good for all this construction we have here that is so not right. Anyway, we asked Mother Earth and the spirits of the land for help. And the next day, it was like the next day, something happened that said, here's your prayers are answered. This is not happening. These projects that would have a catastrophic effect on the earth are not happening now. So we never know. We can't say it was because of the prayers, but I feel there is something listening. And we are coming more and more seeing the earth and life as our ally. Because as spiritual people, what you said about childhood, our generation were the heroes because we came into families that were very stuck, into lineages that were so stuck.
Yes.
And we didn't have this, like, okay, you're lovely spiritual, you have the knowing, but we will put you with this family that is so stuck that for many generations.
Almost everybody I've met in this field, and I say this to people, right? And we have free will, but we can choose. We say there's not a right or a wrong answer, but see what one feels better. We can choose to stay stuck in the victimhood of I grew up with a terrible family, blah 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 blah. And I know that's not the words you're using, or very difficult family, or there's a lot of really awful things that happen, or we can choose to grow and heal from it, right? Take the lessons from it, forgiveness in particular, right? Many, many lessons to come from that. But you are right. Many people I've met in this field have not had easy family placements, we'll say, in this lifetime.
Yeah. And these people are in this field, and they are the healers,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the shamans, and they're the people who talk about it, and they're people who are sharing wisdom because they have lived through that. And we
Yes.
are now doing the work for generations past, not just our lineage, it's the whole of humanity. I was doing a ritual just before, tonight, for the ancestors with my group. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. And we were all working with the ancestors. What is the issue that's coming from the father's line, from the mother's line? Because today is in the UK is the dark moon, and the dark moon before the new moon is a great time to do ancestral work, to remember our ancestors, whether we like them, we
Is
didn't
that what I
like them.
kept hearing? Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off. I kept hearing ancestors, 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 ancestors just before you said that. Sorry, but I did. So please continue. So it's the dark moon. So it's just
Dark
before the
moon.
new moon.
Yeah, that
Okay.
time of the dark moon before the new moon is where we focus shamanically to the ancestors. And then the new moon comes and it's the new birth, a new beginning. And if we can, within that timeline, if we can do a ritual to remember the ancestors or ancestral healing, it's much more effective, it's more powerful, it has a lot of strength. So we did the ritual and we're all looking at what's going on. What am I carrying in my body from the father's line? What am I carrying from my mother's line? So we're looking into the body. And then, when we find out what we're carrying, it's not just us. It's so many. Hello, Ian.
I,
It's so many of us having similar things to sort out and realizing it's the whole of humanity. It's the whole of humanity. So
I,
we're doing this for ourselves. We're thinking, yes, I'm carrying this, or the ancestors did that, but it's actually everywhere, everywhere. So a lot of people, as you said, are going into the trauma. Sometimes people say to me, in my tribe, in my place, we had genocide. In Greece, we had genocide. Here in Scotland, they killed so many women through the witch trials. Everything, there's trauma everywhere. There is the thing is not just that it happened on this land only and in your ancestors. It happened everywhere. We all have to heal together.
I,
So yeah. So our generation had the hard task. Now we have opened up to that. We are healing the lineages. We're doing all that. And the new babies that are
you're
coming
reading
to
my mind. I was just going to bring that up. Go ahead.
are coming to such loving places. Such because the parents are so much more aware. They have done the work. They are really in their heart, and they're seeing these gifts coming, and they're so much wanting that.
But they're
But
special souls is where I was going to go next with this. Like really, really special, special souls. Like I don't know if you've noticed this yourself or anybody in the chat. And maybe it comes from working with kids my whole life, including, in the NICU. Now I know you're not going to see a lot of developmental things or maternal newborn, but I am even seeing with babies, like babies doing things at a much earlier age than what a typical child, like say when we were babies, or when my kids were babies. Like it's just blowing my mind what these children are doing. And then as they get a little bit older, and how connected they are to where they've come from, and connected to the gifts, they know the gifts that they've come in with. Like, these kids are not going to forget or lose that connection. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, but I certainly am seeing it.
oh, I'm absolutely seeing it. A friend of mine just gave birth on the 3rd of July, and it was just the most beautiful baby. And you look at this and you think, this is a Buddha. You're just like seeing this. This is amazing light. And he just looks at you, looks at the photo, and he looks so wise. And
Like an
it's
alert, holding the head up, like just like I am blown away, because especially like I say, with working in that field as a nurse, like you look for those things. And all of us have heard it. I know I babysat since I was about 10 years old, but I always watch the baby's neck, hold the baby's neck, watch the head. These kids are like, I've seen babies at 3 and 4 days of age, like they're holding their heads up, they're looking around right after they're born, like they're so wide awake, and you see it exactly what you're talking about. Like you see in those eyes that wisdom, and they know why they're here.
it's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I really enjoy doing is working with children.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you get such direct connection. When you work with adults, sometimes, the traumas are so heavy because they've been going for so long. And in shamanism, we talk about soul loss, that when we go through a trauma, that we lose part of our soul. And we talked about that before. Oh, hi, Kira. Yeah,
You're still
okay.
getting it, Kiara, for people listening, and thank you for sharing. Kiara said, I fell asleep listening. I'm sorry. I've been exhausted lately. And her voice, meaning you, Fotoula, was so soothing. You're still getting it. Your subconscious, your higher self is hearing it. And you need the rest, obviously, too. So, mhm.
Yes, so also to say thank you for saying that, because it's so true. You're still getting it. And I want to share something. Sometimes when I do my circles, and I do have a soothing voice, but sometimes I drum and I chant and I sing, and it's very loud, and people still are falling asleep.
Mhm.
And my Himalayan teacher, who is a native shaman from Nepal and the Himalayas, in their
Mhm.
tradition, they say that if you fall asleep during this kind of transmission, this when energy is going on, then you get 9 times the healing,
Yeah,
because because your conscious mind is not there to kind of
block it.
judge.
To
Yeah.
block it, judge it, not hear it, believe it, not believe it.
Yeah. Yes. So it's going to a deeper place. So you got it 9 times more than all of us here. So
So
thank you
thank you
for,
for sharing. Yeah.
yeah, thank you, Lorelai. Yes. So where were we? Yes, these children are
Yeah.
direct connection. So if you speak to a child, I have my nephew who I love so much, and he's just so open, and he's just 11 now. But when he was younger, I said, let's do a shamanic journey. He
Oh,
would
how
just close his eyes, and then I said, what did you see? And he would tell me his power animal, spirit animal. And then we would go to the trees, and I said, ask the trees, do they need anything? And he said, yes, the tree said to put stones around the roots. It was the summer in Greece last year, so it was very, very hot. And then when we put the stones there, the elder said, how did you know to do that? This is really good, because then the moisture from the morning stays there around the tree. So it's so hot. So it gives that tree a little bit more water. So there was just like, he didn't know, he just did it.
But
And I,
he did know.
yes, yes, he trusted. There is this trust that is like, if you say to the kids, it's natural. We doubt as adults because we've been told all the time it's your imagination, it's not real. But the kids know it is real. It's so real. And I've helped kids to say, okay, let's meet your power animal. If you're afraid at school, if there's bullying at school, come together with your power animal and have a conversation, and that will help you. And just by the power animal being there, the bullies know there is something there,
Yeah.
and they won't go. Now they feel okay, and the kids feel okay, I have strength, I feel more confidence, because I know, and they know this power is there with me. So it's a great thing to do, yeah, to support, to stay open, what we didn't have. Yeah.
Julie's sharing exactly, they, meaning the kids, are more in tune with nature and spirits. And I agree. Because the other thing I've been watching, uh, my dog has been working with her because she's been a lot more anxious than she's ever been in her life. Never worried about thunderstorms or fireworks or anything like that. But she's had a lot of upheaval in the last year too, right, with what's happened. So I've
Yeah.
been working with her, but I've been watching Caesar Milan. And I know some people have opinions or whatever. But the reason I bring him up, I think what the reason why he's so incredible and he's been on TV. Do you know who he is? The dog trainer, the dog whisperer. Have
No,
you
I
seen
don't think so.
he's incredible, like, but I know what he does now. He takes the animals, dogs, that they're gonna lose their lives, like nobody can handle these animals. They're just vicious and wild and have attacked people and all kinds of things, and he rehabilitates these animals. He always says, I rehabilitate the animals, but I train people, right? But what
Mhm.
I get with him, why I think he's so powerful, and I think it comes so natural to him and always has. He came from Mexico, and he's actually quite successful, known quite a well around the world. Is he's always been able to see and feel energy, and he knows, like, and that's what really why I love animals so much, but especially with dogs, like, they know exactly what you're feeling, what you're seeing. Like, you have to be so honest, and I've been really fascinated. So he will just say, feel the energy, right? Or he'll put his hand out and the dog will be ready to charge or bite, and it just stops and it just kind of calms down. So I'm hoping for the future, where I'm going with this is that people start to be taught this from a young age about what energy is, what that feels like, how to be able to manipulate energy in a good way, right? Because that's what I think he's got. But the other thing where I'm going with this is his connection with dogs. And he's got a whole beautiful, he calls it the dog psychology center, and he has acres. He's got every kind of animal you could think of, because he works with all of them energetically. But the thing, the power and the beauty in dogs, I think, is that everything is energy. You have to be so honest. Like, if you're worried about, oh my gosh, my dog's going to do this, my dog's going to do that, the dog picks that up as anxiety and acts accordingly. So to me, I guess where I'm making the connection is we all have that with one another because we're connected, right? So even the things we've been talking about tonight, like, even staying in the now, really many of the beautiful messages you shared tonight, right? What a different world it would be. And it sounds like your nephew is tapped into this world. I think where we come from, your nephew absolutely knew what the trees needed when you suggested to him, ask the trees, what do they need, right? So I'm
Yeah.
hoping and holding the vision that with this world where we're going, that is the direction that we're going in. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too, and I think that
I,
there's no accident that there is so much interest in spirituality, and it's
mhm.
everywhere now. Unfortunately, with regards to that, some people you're giving them, the keys of the car, and they have never driven something before, so they might get into trouble. And
Mhm.
we need to talk about also energy hygiene and how you
Let's, yes,
uh,
yes.
you don't just open up, or you don't put your desires. Yes, I'm doing this to manifest everything, and I want it, in a certain way, but coming from the ego rather than, coming from a good place, coming from fear, because I'm so afraid of lack, or I'm just greedy. So sometimes we need to look at this energy and what people are sending to each other right now. There is so much
Yes.
protection,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
there we're in this big psychic soup, all these mixed energies. So this is really also important to really look after ourselves and have discernment, and where we put our energy ourselves. Sometimes when I do the clearing, before I start the circle, okay, we ask the spirit of the plant that we're using. If we're burning sage, we ask the spirit to cleanse us and cleanse the energies of the world that we picked up, and the energies of others. And then something was starting to come. I also call the energies that I have sent out to others unconsciously, maybe because that person, made me angry or whatever. I
Yep.
sent something there. I'm calling that back, and may the smoke and the sage cleanse that too. So this is keeps coming into the circles, even quite aware people, because it's needed to clear also ourselves, becoming aware everything is energy. And the more we grow, the more powerful we are, the more, we can send things out there and maybe do a bit of harm too, that will come back to us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And some people are more, I don't know if powerful is the right word, but not knowingly. Like, for example, excuse me, I had my previous home, I had a horrific paranormal activity. It's actually what kind of really got me deep into my spiritual journey. So instead of looking back in fear or anger, I I I totally accept that I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today had I not gone through that experience. But I did have something in my home, this home, and I picked it up. It was a couple years ago. And again, working in this field, we have a lot of intuitive friends, right? And so, without, and I always say less is more in our field. I don't need the whole story. Just you're coming for, say, a session for whatever. Thank you. That's it, right? Less is more. And I've spoken to 4 different friends who are very intuitive, and they all said, this was sent to you, but not intentionally. Somebody was angry and ended up sending some very dark energy my way. And they did. And I had a pretty good idea. I think I know who it may have been. And so I wasn't angry with them, but I don't think they recognized how powerful they were, right?
Yeah, yes, yes. So as are we are the light workers who want to do the work, at the same time clearing that we have sent, because it comes back to us, even unintentionally. I was just, at some point, years and years ago, I was so angry with my mother. There was something happening in the
Yep.
family. We had a big Greek style family row, and and then I was so angry, and my guide said, "Do you really want to send this energy to your mother?" And I was so angry at the time. I said, "Yes." I said, "No,
Yes.
you don't. No, you don't, because you love your mom. I love my mom so much." And they
Mhm.
said, this is you are now doing spiritual work, so this is actually has so much more power than you had before. And I was just horrified. I'm going, okay, I hear you. I'm taking it all back and transmuting, with whether I'm using sage, whether I'm using fire, whether I'm using intention, prayer, whether I'm bringing the light to just clear the situation. and get back into balance. And that anger, we say, okay, I express it but not send it. Of course, it's a human emotion. Your boundaries have been crossed, and that's, but don't take it personally,
Mhm.
because people are going to cross the boundaries, and don't just go, okay, I'm going to, you don't take it personally. It's just they're unaware. Just heal your own emotion. Why has this made you so angry? What is it that you're feeling?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah,
Okay.
I was
No, I was
feeling,
going to say that Ian added, yes, Fotoula, once you know things get really real. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I was going to add with the shamanic session that I actually had with Julie. I ended up having confirmed something very, very awful that happened to me as a little girl with a very, very, very close relative. And I think I had repressed it, and then I kept getting flashbacks about it, and then it was confirmed. Now, it took me a couple days, but I have to thank Spirit. And I don't know if I can put it into words, but Spirit was able to show me that this was a role that this person played for what had happened to me, and the experience I went through and what I did with it. That's not who they are. I was able to see them at a soul level. Does that explain? Like, I don't know how better to explain it. It was really much easier to forgive them if you could. And it was an unforgivable thing. Most people would say that happened. And it didn't happen all at once. It took a bit of time. And I'm so grateful that Spirit could show me that. And it wasn't just me, is the reason I'm sharing this. We can all do that, just even with what you were sharing as well, with, the forgiveness. And they've often said when I worked with clients that you never have to forgive the action if that's how you get past it. But it's the person, it's the soul, right? We're eternal beings. We're all connected, right? I always say, like, even when we're talking about bodies, like this body I'm wearing right now is the vehicle I chose for my soul to have this experience in this lifetime, right? And so, but it's hard for us sometimes to wrap our minds around that we go on forever. We do, right? Have so many lives. I don't know, maybe it doesn't make sense. I don't know, but
Oh, absolutely it does. And going into the past lives, they are what happened to me when I did the work with my parents. I found the link. It was through a past life
oh
that,
wow.
yes, it was a really interesting. What happened was that I was in this city in ancient times, and these soldiers come and they just kill everybody. And I was very upset that I got killed. So I was like couldn't forgive them because I got stuck. And eventually we're in front of this council and the lords of karma, and we're both now in, me and these two soldiers are in luminous form, and we understand. And they say the way to like heal this between you, because now we have a karmic bond between us, so the way to heal this is for you to be incarnate in the same family. So in this lifetime where we do all this work, I end up in that lineage with that family. And when that came, we were all in tears. The whole group was in tears because I was just thinking, these are my parents that I love them so much. And they were crying in my parents were crying, saying, this is our little girl that we did that. So the whole healing was immense. And when I went back, after that with the family, there's been such a huge change. I mean, I would never have believed it was possible because my family was so stuck in their ways. But honestly, the healing was immense. And it's even, the way they behave, the traditional way, the patriarchal way in my family was like, you are never good enough, there's never any praise, and all that kind of alpha type style that was the patriarchal way. And now my parents are like, oh bless you, what are you doing, we're so, all this, go for it. And I'm thinking, are these the same people? But they are, but it took so much work and so much upheaval. So this healing journey is not an easy thing, but
No.
it does takes us there. And for some people, they might have to say, I've been trying, to heal my family, but it's really not working. I have my lesson is to move away. My lesson is to do this by myself, for myself. And that's also very important to say, yes, you've tried, but it's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility, is first to yourself and then to others.
I'm so glad that you said that because I was just going to say that. And, I've had clients as of late talking about this. I came to this realization years ago. For years, I just tried to keep the peace. I didn't want to have any arguments or any fights. And then when I turned 43, God, that was almost 20 years ago. I'll be 61 in August. But I had this, I don't know what you want to call it, stroke of whatever, light bulb turned on. And I realized, and I know what it is now. I've always been hearing my guides, as I think most of us do, but to make that connection that you're actually hearing it. And I never even knew that this is what I've been searching for, but I was always, I think, searching to hear that from my parents about, I'm proud of you. I love you. All of these words, right? That when you dig in, when you go a little deeper, and it was like all of a sudden, you're never going to hear that, and that's okay. That this has to start coming from within, right? We can learn to love ourselves. We can learn to be proud of ourselves. It doesn't have to necessarily be external with what you just shared before when I started talking, that it's okay. That maybe this isn't my responsibility. I've been willing to meet them halfway and work on this, but if they're not there, then we need to turn that inwards and work on ourselves and do that healing, right? Same as when we meet people that say, well, if only I lost that final 20 pounds, I'd be happy. Or only if I met that perfect person, then I'd be happy. And really where the happiness starts is coming from within, right? And then we get back to that healing and unraveling those layers and really, working on where those pains and those hurts are maybe. And I'd love to hear, is there anything from your team that they'd like to add? Because like I said, the world is going through a lot right now and people feel lost. A lot of people feel lost or stuck.
Yes, so what I was going to do, and is because they are waiting, my team is waiting, and they want to come through and speak to.
We've got 15 minutes. It always goes by so quick. Oh,
We went so fast. So just a bit, and that's a demonstration. As I said
I'm going to have you back if you come.
So since they've been here waiting for this, but everything we said was coming through too. But let's see what they want to say to us if they could come through quickly.
Thank you.
And it's the energy you're going to feel as well. So it's not just the words. My name is Isis, and you have called me a goddess. But I see the God and the goddess in all of you, for you are all enlightened beings. You may not feel that for yourselves when you are in this human body. You are not meant to know. You are not meant to see it. But I promise you that when you do see it, as you walk the spiritual path, you're getting glimpses of this God essence that you are. And when you see it, you will be amazed and you will know all that you knew is true, and all that you have within you is divine. No matter what you have done or not done in this life, it is part of the human theater that is bringing you to this state where you can start to recognize yourself. And when you start to see yourself, look deeper, and you can only look at yourself and find the light that you are through eyes of love. I see you with the love of the mother, and I see you so deeply. I see your light is infinite. There is so much depth and so much goodness in you. They are just layers and layers of karma that have obscured your vision. Open your third eye, and you will see a multidimensional sphere surrounding you because you are multidimensional. You are connected to the stars and where you came from. You are always there. What is here on earth is a mere projection of the infinite being that you are. We have so much respect for you, for your task to come to this life. It's definitely not easy, and you know it. And we wish to tell you that part of the journey is to recognize all the steps that you have walked and to see that, yes, your feet have been hurting from going up this very steep ladder. And as you go up this ladder, your crown chakra opens, and the connection to the infinite spirit that you are is becoming stronger. When you start to see the lights, when you start to see the spirits, when you become aware of things that are here to support you, do not close that door anymore. Stay on the path of light because it has been prepared for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lorelei.
Thank you, Isis, for your patience too. We get talking. You guys, I hope that we were planning on the channeling a little bit longer, but we get chatting. So if Isis and you said others were waiting to come through too. So I don't mean Julie just said that was beautiful. Thank you. And I say the same.
Thank you very much.
That
Thank
maybe
you.
if you're open to it, I will have you back and we'll devote the show to if that's okay, and not to put them on the spot, but um, we'll have some more time because I'd love for you to be able to tell people where to get a hold of you and how to buy your books and anything else you've got coming up, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, so the website is called the Isis School of Holistic Health.com. And I have a new book coming up. It's
Oh, do
called,
you?
yes, and
Yes.
it's honestly for everybody. I'm so excited. I've been writing it and it's really flowing through. And it's
Beautiful.
called Discovering Shamanism. And
Love.
it's so accessible. It's really for people. It's to really see that this shamanism can be so accessible. It doesn't have to be huge ceremonies lasting days and days, and it's just really wonderful. So this is coming. This is coming later this year. It's going to be published about end of October, November, that kind of time, and.
That's when I'm booking. So maybe we'll have time just before it comes out. You can come on and talk all about it too.
Yeah, that would be lovely. That would be lovely. And I'm teaching with Sandra Ingerman and another 10 shamanic teachers. Is starting next week. It's a program on the Shift Network called The Heart of Shamanism.
Oh,
And, and that's amazing because it's a community of teachers. We all have our specialty. Mine is shamanic healing. Other people are doing, death and dying. Others are doing a sacred song. There's the ancestors. There is journeying. So there is so much in there. And it's starting on the 28th if I'm right, of July. So it's a wonderful program. We put so much work together to bring it all together. All 11 teachers,
Wow.
Sandra, and for goes for 12 weeks. So there's a long time. Every Tuesday there's another session. So it's a wonderful thing. The other thing I'm doing is there is just so much so much work in the past life work that I'm doing, and on the newsletter I'm sharing so much information, so many channelings, and I'm putting them on YouTube now as well. But if you go to the IC School of Holistic Health.com, subscribe to the newsletter, and the newsletter is free. So you will get that information, and that's the easiest way to get it. Every month, or sometimes twice a month, I publish articles, channelings, and what is going on. So very, very active and very, very busy right now, because there is so much coming from the spirits. So
Well,
yes,
I love it, you guys. If you're watching, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I just
no,
want to let people know the website is streaming across the top of the screen. Sorry, please continue. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry if I cut you off. I didn't mean to.
no, that's good. For those that are in the UK, I teach the shamanic practitioner course starting in February, and I teach a very beautiful ceremonial circle for women, which is 2 years, and is to be a spiritual celebrant. But it's not just the ceremonies; it's also being aware of all the spirits and deities, and that's called the priestess of the moon. So if you're in the UK, you're very welcome to come. But we did have people coming from abroad as well. We just keep having now people from all different parts of the world. So thank you very much, and thank you for everybody's support, and thank you, Lorelei, for your incredible hosting and for giving me all this time, all this wonderful conversation that we had, and for coming in, and it was just so organic and beautiful. So thank you for manifesting this space.
Well, thank you. Thank you to Isis for the patience. And I know there were others that hopefully were going to come through, but you and I get talking. I can't believe 2 hours has gone by. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Michelle Wilfong for modding over on TikTok. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to check out her My Haunted Apartment on TikTok. Thank you to Carnation for sponsoring today's show. They sponsor all the shows actually on Mondays. It's Carnation Mondays, and we appreciate them. So please consider supporting Carnation. If you see something on your grocery list, maybe you need, because they bring all the great shows on UPRN on Mondays. Don't go anywhere, because we got more shows coming up after myself. We have Preston Dennett and Dolly Saffron with the Light Gate, and I believe there's at least one other show after Preston and Dolly. We have an animal communicator by the name of Angel that I just met this weekend. Her show's before mine. I know if Heidi's still here, she'll give me the proper name. Please forgive me, Angel. I think it's Creature. I forget what the second word is, but she's right before me. Anyways, we're connecting in the next week or two, so we're going to be on each other's shows, so you guys watch for that. Also, we don't forget my Wednesday night on the Outer Realm. I will be joining my good friend on her show, Michelle DeRoche. We're continuing our series with the Celebrity Mystery Series. We're looking into potential time travel, all kinds of things like that. It's going to be a great show, you guys. So I hope you'll join us. Next week, we have Chris. We have a bunch of Chris's coming on. Our friend Gavin introduced me to them. I want to say Chris Berryman. I looked it up. I'll have to just make sure here, you guys, while I'm talking to you, because I don't want to forget. Now, if you guys ever want to get a hold of me, maybe you got a show idea, a guest suggestion. I also do psychic and mediumship. I do crystal Reiki, which works with your chakras and your aura. I do energy healing. I do teaching and mentoring, Akashic records. I do all kinds of stuff. Easiest and quickest way is on social media, either on Instagram under the Angel Rock 1508, or I have a business page also on Facebook. It's facebook.com/the Angel Rock. I will be going to a domain name. I am slowly working on a course and building a community with one of my closest friends. So that is coming. We've had a few things come up, kind of waylay us, but we will be getting back into that. So that should be coming in the next, hopefully, half a year at least. Yes, so we have, I was right, Chris Berryman. Please forgive me, I didn't get a chance to look it up, but you know what's going to be something cool because Gavin connected us, just like with Fotoula. You guys, thank you very much for being here always and supporting the show. Like I said, 7-year anniversary coming up July 17th for me here, and I love you, PRN, and there's going to be many more years past the 7, I am sure, because I love this place. It's my home and love all of you. Again, thank you, Fotoula. Don't go anywhere just yet. You guys, we will see you next Monday. Everyone, stay tuned for Dolly and Preston coming out next.